It's so good to be here. I have a testimony to give, and I'm going to jump right into this. This is something that I'm so ready to do again, and feeling that urge and that the body sensation is right. Everything is just aligning perfectly for what's going on right now. I remember when I first started season 2, I mentioned that family will be a huge focus, and it still is. Family is everything, but the dynamic of the family is just as important because we all struggle or deal with a family member, or you might have a spouse or a sibling that you have a hard time communicating with. And this is communicating. This is sharing your emotions, and this is something that I'm relearning myself, is to be a little more open with my emotions, because I am so used to writing my emotions out and not truly always expressing them. And yeah, that was something that I've always had difficulty with, was sharing my emotions with people, or getting upset or angry and not really discussing the problem or the issue at hand. And if you know what I'm talking about, feel free to post a comment. You don't have to. That's your choice. That your decision. But yeah, it's something that we should learn to address a little bit, and be able to adapt or adjust with over time, because our families mean something to us. You know, it, like I said, it could be your spouse, or it could be a sibling, or it could be um, a grandparent even. It could be anybody in your family that you might have a hard time communicating with, and you just don't know how to deal with it. Uh, that is that can really weigh on a person emotionally and mentally. And I know this myself because I have dealt with this for years with a family member of mine, and we are learning to communicate better and having that some some the togetherness, and it makes it feel better. That dynamic feels better, and on you and on that other person that you might have a difficult time with talking to. So that's basically my testimony today is, how do you deal and cope with a family member that you might be having a difficult time, you know, communicating with, because communication is so important. And but you also know that there is someone, obviously, I'm sure there is, who is your support and who will always be uh, supportive of you, and vice versa. I mean, we can't hold our emotions in. It will really eat away at you, and it will make you physically ill. And this was one of the reasons why I was gone for so long, is because I was emotionally ill. And I will eventually share a little bit of that with you folks out there, because I'm sure um, someone out there will relate with this. This is why I started this testimony series last year, September of last year, because I'm basically letting you in on my life a little bit. Not a whole lot, but enough to maybe give you some peace or some hope in your life, and you just don't know the direction to go in. Like I said, it's difficult. Life is not easy. It never has been. We all go through stuff. We all go through situations. And for me, I am reinventing myself. I'm making the changes in my life that need to be made, and and communicate better. And I'm a people person. So I like being around people. And at one time in my life, I was extremely shy, very backward. I wouldn't talk to anybody. But when I started working in retail, gosh, more than 20 years ago, I had to learn how to open up and talk to people. And that was one of the best things of working in retail, was the communication and being that person that someone can talk to. And I'm I'm feeling more like myself again, and I'm talking to people and getting to know someone in person, because I like that personal connection with someone rather than hiding behind my writing, which is very apparent in my book series. And I will be getting back into writing again real soon, and working on my 6th book of the Journey Collection series, because everything that I've gone through over the past 18 years now is keeps evolving and changing, and you're going to evolve and you're going to change. And that is why this testimony series is so important to me, because I'm sharing and showing you who I am as a person and as an individual. Um, I can be very chatty at times, but then there are times I could be a real introvert and not talk at all, because I rather listen than talk. And I have this thing of interrupting during a conversation, and I am relearning not to do that, because it is a habit of mine that I interrupt when someone's talking. So that is just something that I've had to learn myself recently, and it's making a huge difference in my life. And like I said, communication is important. You want to communicate with your family. You want to have, a good relationship, whether it is with a spouse or a sibling or an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a grandparent, no matter who it may be. And I have other family members who I rarely see, and when I do see them, it's nice to see them, because they live in other states, and or not all of them live in my area, but some of them do. And it's nice to see familiar faces sometimes too. So we all have to learn to be mindful. We do. We all have to learn that. And it could be hard for some, and it could be easy for others. And like I said, this is the first testimony I've done in more than a month and a half now, since I, had some issues and some things that I've had to deal with. And I will be bringing some of that up in my future testimonies. It's just not going to be about me. It's going to be about you. I find that important, that we can relate with one another and be able to have that connection out there with you, and just never give up. I know it's hard. It's hard to get through stuff and don't know where to go and don't know who to turn to. But it's important that you listen more and pay attention more and observe more in your surroundings. You might learn something new that you never knew before. And I'm learning something new every day with my continuing changes in my life. So, that's today's testimony in a nutshell. And I'll be back again with another testimony, and I'll see you all again real soon.